Today, we are going to do staffing part 1. And in this, we are going to learn the meaning of staffing, its importance, and the process of staffing. Now, what is staffing? Now, staffing is keeping people to jobs, putting people to jobs. That means keeping people in your organization. But staffing is not just that. Staffing is making sure that they stay in the organization. Therefore, they say staffing has been described as a managerial function of filling and keeping filled the positions. So the people should not take up your job and then leave it. Because every time somebody leaves your organization, you have to go about looking for another person, and that is going to cost you a lot of time and effort. Therefore, staffing function is such in which we look for the most suitable person, keep them on the job, and make sure that they stay on the job. Narayan Murthy, the CEO of Infosys, has very rightly said, our assets walk out of the door each evening. We have to make sure they come back the next morning. So he is talking about the human resources as an asset. Now come to the importance of staffing. First of all, through staffing, we obtain competent people. When you're looking for people for the job, you have to see that you keep the most deserving people for the job. Then putting the right person for the right job. That is very important. Suppose a school has to open a new section for commerce and they want 2 teachers, one for business studies, one for accounts. Then they should make sure that the teacher who wants business studies should be given business studies, and the one who wants to teach accounts should be given accounts. Suppose the one who wants to teach business studies is given accounts and the one who wants to teach accounts is given business studies. That means you have not put the right person for the right job. You might have the most qualified, the most suited person for your organization, but you have not given the right person the right job. If the person himself or herself is not motivated, how will they motivate others? So getting the right person for the right job ensures good performance. Then whoever you have kept, not only should that person grow, but should help in the growth of the organization also. And when you are keeping a person for a job, make sure that you give proper training to that person so that you are able to utilize the service of that person to the utmost. Then by giving the person the job of their own liking, you are ensuring that they're satisfied with the job, and it leads to very high morale. If a person likes the job he is doing, or the job is according to his choice, his morale will also be very high and will be satisfied doing the job, and he will not leave your organization. Now, the staffing function in most of the organizations, big organizations, is being done by HRM or Human Resource Management Department. But in very small organizations, the line managers, that means those people who are doing the functional duties like marketing manager, production manager, purchase manager, they themselves do the function of staffing. So in case of a small organization, staffing is not a separate function. It is one of the duties of the department who needs to recruit people. Now come to the staffing process. Now staffing process has got 8 steps. The 8th step has been highlighted separately so that you remember there are 8 steps. And in short, the points have been written. You can use this diagram in case the staffing process comes in the exam. So let's go one by one. Estimating manpower requirement. The first and the fundamental thing that you need to do in the staffing process is estimating the manpower requirement. Whenever anything has to be done, you have to make an estimate. Let us say you want to open up a new project in another city. So you have to estimate how much of manpower do you require. So you just don't need to know how many people you require, but what type. For example, I say that we need a geography teacher in our school. Now, just telling you that I need one geography teacher is not sufficient. I need to tell you that the geography teacher is going to teach which class. Is she going to teach till class 6, or is she going to teach till 10th, or is she going to teach 11th and 12th? Because then the educational qualification needed of that teacher would be different. So when we estimate the manpower requirement, we first of all see how many people are required and what type. And for this, we have to do workload analysis and workforce analysis. Now, what is workload analysis and workforce analysis? Workload analysis means the number and type of human resource necessary. A child once told me in Punjabi, load, kinni load hai? How much is required? So how much is necessary? So workload analysis means how much of manpower is necessary, and workforce means how much is available. Like for example, you already have a plant in where you are putting up. Now you want to set up another plant in a neighboring city. So some of these workers want to go from here there. Suppose you've got 50 workers here, 5 of them want to go there. Plus you're using new machinery, so the number of workers required are less. So if you have 50 workers here, it doesn't mean that in the new organization also, new plant also, you will have 50 workers. 5 already going from here and 5 less are required. So the number required will be much less than what is required here. So you have to see how many are necessary and how many are available to make an estimate of manpower requirement. And it's not just this, there's more to it. Now, whenever an organization is calculating the manpower requirement, this also reveals whether the organization is understaffed, overstaffed, or optimally staffed. The organization may either be understaffed. Now, if they're understaffed, then the entire process of staffing should begin. If it is overstaffed, then some people need to be removed. And if it's optimally staffed, then that's good enough. Now, whenever you have to start a staffing process, you also need job description and job specification. Now, first of all, you need to describe the job to the person who is taking up the job. What are the duties and the responsibilities that go with the job, and what qualification are you looking for in a person to be able to do the job. All this comes under manpower planning, and job description we'll be doing later on again also. Now, the second step after estimating manpower requirement is recruitment. Now, recruitment is a very positive step in which we are looking for the candidates. So we invite everybody. We want everybody to come and apply for the job in our organization, because more the people, the more better will be the choice. So recruitment is basically searching for the prospective employee. Remember, children, between recruitment and selection, there's very fine difference. This is searching, that is choosing. Just one word difference between the two. So searching for prospective employees is called recruitment. Now, how do you search for the prospective employee? How do you know who suits the bill the best? For example, you're looking for a production manager. The job is that of a production manager. Now, production manager, should he be an engineer because it is dealing in production? Or should he be an MBA because it's a management? So who should you keep for the job? Should you keep an engineer or a manager or an MBA? Again, there's a fix in it. So first of all, you decide as to who you want to keep. The best option would be an engineer who has done MBA, so that he is best qualified to do that job. So first of all, decide what do you want? What qualification do you want in that person to be able to do the job? That is called job specification. That is desirable qualification, experience, certain characteristic features like the person should be honest, etc. So what are you looking for in that person? And the second thing is job description. Job description describes the job and the duties that go with it. Once there was an ad for a salesman, and this person was already working somewhere as a salesman. So he thought, okay, let me apply for the job of a salesman here. So he applied for the job. The next day he was told, he got the job, and next day he was told that you go to Mumbai. You are a traveling salesman. He said, I can't travel. I've got a very small child and my mother is very sick. I just can't leave them and go to Mumbai. And he couldn't take up the job. And he had resigned from the previous job also, so he was in a fix. So if the job had described all the duties and the responsibilities that go with the job, then they would have got the right person. So job description means describing the job to the person regarding the duties that person has to do, the responsibilities that will fall on him, and job specification, or which is also called candidate's profile, means what are the desirable qualifications you're looking for in a person to be able to do the job. So the second step is recruitment, and then comes selection. So when we say that recruitment is a positive step, selection is called a negative step, because in recruitment we call everybody, we invite everybody to come and apply for the job, and in selection, out of so many people who have applied, we select a few and keep a few in waiting, and the rest we all reject. So selection is called a negative process. So selection is a process of choosing from among the pool of prospective candidates. So from all those people who have applied for the job, we choose the most suitable one. We may not necessarily choose the one with the highest academic qualification. We choose the person who is the most suitable. Now, having the selection procedure itself is a long procedure. We are right now doing the staffing process. Apart from that, we have the selection process also in this chapter. So under selection, you have an entire process. Now, why is it important to have a selection process? For basically two reasons. First, you get the best person. From whoever has applied, you get the best person for your job, most suitable for your job. And second, the self-esteem of that person also increases. Suppose there were 2 people who came for the job and you were one of them. That means out of 2 only you got selected. But if there are 100 of them and from there you are selected, then it works on your self-esteem. You feel very happy about it, isn't it? And therefore, selection process has got a number of steps like test, interview, etc., which we'll be doing later on in another video. Then comes placement and orientation. It has got 2 parts, placement and orientation. So the new employee who has just been selected is taken on a tour of the organization. So he's told about his colleagues with whom he's going to work, his superiors, his subordinates, and whatever the rules and policies the organization has. And then he's given charge of the duties that he has to do. So when you familiarize him with that job, he starts becoming comfortable very quickly, and his productivity does not get affected. So right away he can start working. And this orientation means introducing him to his colleagues, his superior, his subordinate, and the various rules and regulations of the organization is also called induction training. This comes under induction training, though in NCERT, under training, induction training is not mentioned. But it came in the exam one of the years, what is induction training, or one case study came in which they had to guess which type of training it was, and that was induction training. Now, placement means there might have been various jobs and you have chosen him for a particular job. So placement means telling him the job for which he has been selected. For example, a new school had to come up and this person applied for the job of the vice principal, but that person was not selected for vice principal. He was selected as a PGT commerce. So that person needs to be told that you have been selected for this job and this is what you have to teach. Out of commerce also, she may be teaching maybe accountancy and economics or accountancy and business studies. So whatever the work is has to be told. That is called placement, right person for the right job. Then comes training and development. Everybody needs training. Existing employees need training, new employees need training. Even IAS officers are given 6 months of training. You might have gone to the bank a number of times, but have you ever been on the other side of the counter? You don't know how it works on the other side. So if you join a bank, again, you will be given training. So training helps the employee to learn. They help to hone their skills. So whatever skills they have, it can be polished. So it is the best way, a best opportunity for a person, for an employee to learn more. Now, once an employee becomes thorough in the job that he is to do, then this motivates him and his performance becomes much better. And he is able to contribute towards the organizational goals. There are various types of trainings which we are going to take up later on in another video. Then comes performance appraisal. Now, you have selected the person whom you think fits the bill, and you have given him the job that he wants, and you have even given him training. Now see, how is he doing? How is he performing? The person whom you selected for the job, is he doing a good job? For example, you opened a new branch in another city and you send one of the workers who was very good. You made him a supervisor and you send him there. Now, as a worker, he was very good, but is he equally good as a supervisor also? So you need to measure his performance. Now, performance appraisal is also called merit rating. So after a certain period of time, you can't start evaluating their performance immediately. You have to give them a certain time and you have to evaluate their performance against certain predetermined standards. Now, after the performance has been evaluated, that employee also needs to be told. He has to be told, see, this is the problem with your performance. This is where you're lacking, or this is where you're doing well. Because unless he is communicated and told what is the problem that he has, how will he improve? And the performance appraisal includes defining the job. You have to tell him exactly what is expected of him. Then going through his performance, seeing how well he's doing, and providing the subordinate feedback. Then promotion and career planning. Today, everybody takes up a career. They don't take up a job, they take up a career, and everybody wants to be promoted. If anybody joins as a clerk, they want to retire as a head clerk, if not an officer. So everybody wants to rise. So the next step is deciding who will get promotion and who can be placed in a position of more responsibility. So what is promotion? Promotion is upgrading a person with more responsibility, more pay, and even better job satisfaction. So the managers should design the job in such a way that it should encourage the employees to work to the full potential so that they get a raise and they get the promotion and they can go ahead in their career. And finally, the compensation, it means all form of pay or reward going to the employees. Every employee goes to work to earn something. So the earning that a employee does is called compensation. And there are two types of compensation: direct financial payments and indirect financial payment. Direct financial payments are like wages, salary, which you directly get. But apart from that, the employee may also be getting, say, insurance paid by the company or paid vacations, etc. So they're indirect. And financial payments, direct financial payments, are of two types: time-based and performance-based. So time-based, as the name suggests, when you get the payment after period of certain time, like maybe daily you may get your payment, like daily wage earners, or after a week or a month, or sometimes even annually. That is called time-based. Performance-based is according to the units produced by you, according to your performance. The more you produce, the more you get. Like for example, in a candle making company, the employees are paid, the workers are paid according to the candles that they make. So 1 rupee per candle they are getting. So if they make 100 candles a day, they get 100 rupees. If they make 200 candles, they get 200 rupees. So this is called performance-based direct payment. Now that brings us to the case study. Now let us see what they're asking. Identify the next 2 steps. Now here I would like to give you a tip that whenever steps are asked and when you read the question, sometimes you forget which step comes next. So quickly write down all the steps. You know, the 8 steps, just write them down. Then relating those steps with what is written here becomes much easier. If you find that problem, then you can do it. If you can directly identify, then there's no problem. So let's start. Sahil, the director of a garment company, is planning to manufacture bags for the utilization of waste material of one of his garments unit. He decided that the manufacturing unit will be set up in a rural area of Orissa, where people have very less job opportunities and labor is available at very low rate. He also thought of giving equal opportunities to men and women. For this, he selected S. Chatterjee, Indrajit Kaur, Aslam, and Sarabjit as heads of sales, accounts, purchase, and production departments. Identify the next 2 steps that Sahil has to follow in the staffing process. I've already seen which step they're talking about, so I know the next 2 steps. So I'll give you a moment to think about it. Give it a thought, recapitulate, and I think you have got it. Yes. So the step that they are talking about here is selected, means selection. So the next 2 steps automatically are placement and orientation and training and development. And that's all in this video. Thank you.